Okay, we are happening. Welcome. You're listening to The Best of Investing on Talk 910, the show where we present valuable information about real estate, the financial markets, and other economic business of the day. I'm your host, Edward Brown, and I'm proud to have as my co-host Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money, California's fastest growing mortgage investment firm. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. You're going to use that number to answer the trivia questions for 3 vacations given away during each commercial break. You got it. We're giving away 9 vacations during this show. Now, the vacations are not sponsored by the radio station, but by Lighthouse Resort and Marina, which is located 1 hour northeast of San Francisco. Weather's getting really nice. You may want to check them out. The vacations are free. Their only request is a $75 cleaning fee to cover housekeeping expenses, and their website is lighthouse4fund.com. You can reach them at 916-777-5511. And today's trivia theme, since we've got a bunch of old fogies in the studio here, is Sally Field. Everyone remember Sally Field? Okay.
You like me.
Yeah, that's right. You really love me. Yeah, like me. That's what it is. Our website is bestofinvesting.com. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube by typing Best of Investing Radio Show. We're also on television, Comcast, Channel 26, and AT&T, Channel 99, on Saturdays at noon and Sundays at 6 p.m. This segment of The Best of Investing is brought to you by, ready for this, crystalbull.com. Now that's Crystal Bull, B-U-L-L, not Crystal Ball. And if you've ever wondered why the stock market has big ups or downs when new economic data are released, check them out, crystalbull.com, because they show relationships graphically. So it's really very interesting. Check them out, crystalbull.com. Now today's special guest is America's business coach. We've had him on before. We'll have him on again. Coach Ron Tunick, who's going to discuss social media, mobile apps, using mobile apps and mobile texting. Ron, welcome back to The Best of Investing.
Edward, it's always an honor to be with you guys, man. It really is. It's one of the best shows, I think, in the Western United States.
Hey, the world, baby, the world.
Hey, Coach, I guess if we're going to talk about mobile apps and such, we got to talk about WhatsApp, which I hadn't even heard about, and maybe it's because I'm an old fogey at 54. I didn't even know what WhatsApp was until Facebook goes and buys it for 19 billion big ones.
Actually, I did know about WhatsApp. Someone had told Marco had told me about it because we were going to Europe, and he said if you text, it'll cost you a fortune in Europe, but if you use WhatsApp, it's free.
That's what I've learned. It's basically other countries has been the big growth of that amazing application.
Well, Wall Street has set the bar now, and has given a valuation to the asset of a cell phone number. Now it's a little complicated and it's complex, and all of us do not want to be spammed either at home or the office. We don't want to be spammed on the email. We don't want to be spammed on our phones. So texting is the next generation of communication.
Yeah,
and how we're going to use that text is really the question of the day. So,
Coach,
graphics and pictures.
Coach, let me ask you. You text your wife, don't you, a lot?
That's all we do.
I know.
We don't talk anymore. She's got her own TV room. We text within the house. And
you know what?
Dinner's ready.
Yeah. Or she'll say, "I love you," and I just put an exclamation point. Yeah.
Well, I'm a duck. I'm a duck, so I send her a little green heart.
Oh yeah.
A little Motocon.
Yeah, the Oregon Ducks, for all you people who don't know, Coach Ron is a big Oregon Duck fan.
Yeah, and we did well on Thursday, so I'm excited about that. So, do you know what a Motocon? Do you know what a Motocon is, Edward?
A Motocon? I do not.
Oh, ask Mark. He knows.
No, I don't either.
It's those little graphic pictures that we send each other.
I'm sorry, emoticon. That's right.
Oh, emoticon. Oh, well, sure. Now I know. Well, what's a motocon? Okay, emoticon, like emotion, right?
Right.
Something like that. Okay, that's a little happy face or whatever. Okay.
I'll get my English better.
Okay. Okay, so tell us about the mobile apps with the mobile texting now. What's the difference?
If back in 1994 or 5, the websites that were built looked like 7 and 8-year-olds did a little crayon drawing, and then they started to evolve, and they evolved to a point where if you owned a business, you had to have a website. You weren't a legitimate business in the eyes of a consumer if you didn't have a website, correct?
Yep.
So the next generation of communicating is going to be through mobile app, because more people will have smartphones than they will have any other form of technology. Today, there's probably close to 350 million smartphones. If you get into somebody's smartphone, you've got into their home, you've got into their office, you've got into their personal life. So if you're a business and you don't have a mobile app, you're going to be left behind.
Well, now, okay, if I've got my smartphone, can I just go on to the internet part and Google whatever I'm trying to look for?
Yes, well said. You will go into the search bar and you will search for that app or for that business or for that industry. And if an app comes up, you'll probably download it. If you like the app, you'll use the app often. And the guys that are creative and interesting and informative as to how to build these game apps, that's where the money is. Come up with an idea, and let's build a game app together.
Well, it's all has to do with the advertising part, because they don't usually charge for games. Right?
We'll call it 3 Stupid Birds.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. There was a guy, apparently, who built an app, and it cost, I think it was $9,000, and it did nothing. And the whole idea was, you know, it was to be able to say, yeah, I've got this app. I spent $9,000, and he sold like 3 or 4 apps.
That's just silly. Hey, Coach. So if texting is the future of the way we use our smartphones, even more so than it is today, how do you see, or do you see text evolving from more than just the plain characters that we use now?
Yes, a great question. Let me get serious for a moment. If you're listening to our voice and you own a business, probably, I'm not going to say it's the number 1 asset in your business, but it's probably in your top 5 assets, and that's capturing the cell phone number of your customer. And then being able to ask your customer if you can communicate with them with bargains, sales, discounts, loyalty programs, reward programs, communicating, with the text. Like we build apps for churches. Churches have a captive audience. The people in the church want to support the church, so the smart pastors use their app to tithe, to ask their patrons to tithe, to communicate issues that go on in the church, to use a church calendar. It goes on as to what you can do with an app, but if you own a business and you're not capturing the cell phone number of your customer, you won't be able to compete in another 2 or 3 years. You will not.
That's just amazing. I love that idea of tithing to your church just over your phone. I mean, you can do banking now, of course, on the phone. They've got great apps for all the major banks. You can transfer funds and pay bills, and it's amazing now. In fact, what's even more amazing is just the competition in the space of small bill payment within the phone app universe.
I can imagine, the old days used to be they pass the collection plate and you put your check in. Now you put your smartphone, you just deposit your smartphone in there and they'll scan it, and then eventually at the end of the service you'll get your smartphone back.
Just walk up and tap your phone against some device and it'll just clink.
No, you're absolutely right. Not today's show, but maybe if you invite me back, we'll get into chip technology. But Europe is ahead of us in terms of their chip technology. So, Edward, you're right on and spot on again. Probably in another 3 or 4 or 5 years, we will just point our phone towards some kind of a some kind of a chip, and it'll take the money right out of your account.
Yeah, you know what? Interestingly enough, I met a guy who invented some kind of chip hologram whatever thing that goes, all this fancy technology stuff that goes on your credit card, and apparently it's like what the latest thing people were doing for identity theft was they were coming by near your wallet, and that's in your pocket, and they'd have some kind of a scanner, and they could just scan from the magnetic code, so you never even took it out of your pocket, and yet your identity was being stolen. So he came up with this kind of special chip that basically, if it's got something like if it bends or something, and it's really weird, but basically you can't steal someone's identity that way.
Wow.
Okay, now hold on. Stay with us, Coach. We've got to cut to our first commercial break, and again, the theme is Sally Field. You love me. You really like me. Okay, here it is. Sally Field played Sister Betrayal on what TV show in the late 1960s? The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort.
I know the answer. I know the answer.
Well, you can answer when we come back from break, Coach. Don't get your suspenders in an uproar here. Okay, their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. Again, this is for the old fogies out there. Again, here's the question. Sally Field played Sister Betrayal on what TV show in the late 1960s? Make sure to include your name and your email address. Speak slowly. Spell out your email one letter at a time. Don't touch that dial. We got Ron Tunick here who's talking about mobile apps and texting. Okay, that's our first segment, my friend.
Did you like it?
That was good.
Absolutely.
I just like that we can hear you and not, like the guy who was walking away from the base when his hands set before. It was just driving us crazy last week.
Yeah.
No, but you guys are fun. You make it interesting, and I like the fact that you're not patronizing and you ask good questions. So that's what keeps the listeners going.
Absolutely.
What else do we want to cover? Anything specific in this genre? Next one on.
Well, I want to talk about social media. I want to talk about how to use social media to grow your business. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a great topic.
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
And it's always evolving because what you might have been told to do a year ago or even 6 months ago might be different today because it's what I'm seeing. And again, that maybe I'll save it for when we talk, but. I especially with younger people, there's really a shift between some of the popularity of, let's say, Facebook losing popularity among some age brackets and going into Vine and
Pinterest and
there's actually Snapchat. I guess there's a bunch of ways that.
Hey, Edward, can you do me a favor, make a CD of this show and either send it to me or put it somewhere? Because I think I'm going to use this.
Absolutely. Yeah, what we'll do is so here's what will happen is I went on Saturday, the show will air. I'll post both YouTube and the audio up within a day after that or so, and then Kramer puts the professional CD DVD together. He'll give that to me in another week or so, and Mark and I are going to be out for a couple of weeks. And then when I get that, I'll also upload that to the website. So you'll have a professional video as well as the regular YouTube that's coming off of my home computer here. Okay?
All right, perfect. Thanks.
Good. All right, so we'll let you answer the question too when we get back here. Ready? Here we go. Welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hunt, president of Pacific Private Money. And when we get into the question for you, Mark, it'd be very interesting to tell the audience. Stay tuned. Okay. So the first commercial break, we asked this trivia question. Sally Field played Sister Betrayal on what TV show in the late 1960s? Coach, you were old enough to watch that show.
Flying Nun.
The Flying Nun.
I thought it was Lost in Space.
No, Sister Betrayal. There's no nuns in space.
Toby Gillis.
Yeah, Toby Gillis. That's right. And we are on the phone here with America's coach, business coach, Ron Tunick, and he's discussing about mobile apps and mobile texting, and he's going to teach us a little bit about social media and how to grow our business. Coach, take it away.
Thanks, Edward. Thanks, Mark. And, during the break, you ought to record the breaks. They're more interesting than the show. But, you guys both said some very interesting things that our audience should understand, and that's marketing, technology, branding changes about every 3 or 4 months. Just when we think we have it down pat, something else pops up. Well, I'll tell you what's popped up, and that's Google Hangouts. I'll tell you what's popped up, and that's how to use Facebook effectively. I'll tell you what's popped up, and that's how to use video, YouTube. It's sad, but we don't read anymore. We want to be entertained. We all tend to watch television the same way. Every 10 seconds, we're flipping the channels. Well, our attention spans are very short. Well, guess what? In the real world, in the business world, it's very similar. You're not going to go and visit somebody and sit down for an hour and a half and try to convince them to buy your product. You've got to create an environment in which they want to do business with you. You've got to create a culture in which the customer says, I would be stupid not to do business with Edward Brown. So where do you start?
I tell them you're stupid if you don't deal with Edward Brown.
Yeah. You've got to lay groundwork, you guys. So I would say in my workshops that I talk about social media quite a bit today because it's a great way, an inexpensive way to lay the groundwork, to build the name recognition, the brand recognition, and to create that culture by inviting people into your life in a certain way. Now, YouTube, you guys, probably next year or the year after, more people will be watching YouTube than they will be watching television.
Well, it's funny that I heard that is like the second largest search engine next to Google.
Wow.
Yeah.
All kinds of big companies are getting into the YouTube business. They're getting into the YouTube show business. So I'm working myself on creating a show that will be on YouTube.
So in terms of YouTube, Coach, what are some ways that the average business owner can take advantage of YouTube to grow his business today?
Great question. So here's what you'll hear most small to medium-sized business owners say, especially entrepreneurs. I don't have the time. I don't have the time.
Yep.
I'm too old to understand all this new technology. Well, it's a bunch of baloney. If you continue to make the whining excuse you don't have the time, you're going to be out of business. There are millions of young men and women, 18 to 30 years old, that understand technology today. They're looking for employment. It's a great way to outsource this social media. So the first thing I would say, if you're making an excuse, I don't have time, hire somebody that knows how to use social media. So to answer your question specifically, all you have to really use is your iPhone. I probably have over 100 YouTubes. Most of them are used with my iPhone. I also have my own app called Coach Tunick, Tunick, and that was all used with an iPhone. So the technology with the camera today is getting better and better and better. You don't have to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars or even a few $1,000s. Learn how to use your iPhone.
Yeah, we use the computer here at the office, and literally we have over 500 YouTube videos of the best of investing up.
3.5 years worth.
Yeah. Hey, well, no, you know what? We didn't start YouTubing it until 2011. So we actually had a whole year before we even threw it up on YouTube.
Hey, Coach, another quick question for you. So, of the four, so you've got the big three. You've got Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and then certainly with Facebook and LinkedIn, you can post your YouTube video. So I was going to say YouTube is like the fourth, but YouTube is kind of maybe part of or meshes within certainly Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn because you can link to a video. But are there any other social media that we should be aware of, or maybe that you see on the horizon that we might work with in addition to those?
Yes. Again, very good question. So Pinterest and Instagram. But let me go back to answering the first question about YouTube. both of you are very successful businessmen. If you wanted to use social media, the first thing you want to do is create a story. People will listen to a story. Nobody wants to be preached to on social media. So if you're going to use social media to create that culture where people want to meet you, do business with you, buy from you, create a story. Have a story that people follow.
Hard money loan.
So, now back to Pinterest and Instagram. Pinterest predominantly right now is used by about 95% women. Think of Pinterest as searching for the right word.
It's like a bulletin board, isn't it? Bulletin board of ideas, pictures, inspirations.
A bulletin board of pictures, yes. So we all like very cool pictures. When we see a cool picture, we like to share it. So Pinterest right now is growing amongst women. If you want a female audience, if your product caters to a female audience, you want to be living on Pinterest and creating through your pictures a story so people will be interested in what you have to say and what you have to do. Instagram is similar for a little younger crowd, but Instagram is also growing in popularity. Both of them are picture-based and video-based.
You know what I really like about a recent change that Facebook did, because I haven't been a big Facebook fan. Not a lot of my friends use it, but yesterday I was on Facebook and I noticed that the videos will automatically start to play as you're scrolling down, and so more often than not you're going to go and at least check it out. And like yesterday I saw the funniest video about a dog that was chewing a bone, and I guess his own leg was creeping up, his back leg was moving, and he was attacking his own leg. It was stupid, like a dumb cat video. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But it was just I never would have watched it otherwise, and so a number of other videos that people start talking, and you just sit there and listen to them. I just think that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, Coach, are you a fan of Twitter?
No, I'm not. And Twitter is Twitter's confusing to a lot of people. What's happened to Twitter is business owners have got on there and have not used Twitter what I would consider to be properly used. They go on there and they preach and it's really become nothing more than me. Well, that doesn't work. I don't know. If you're famous like you two, like the both of you, and you can create thousands of people to follow you because you're extremely interesting or provocative. So Twitter works if you can create that somebody, if you can create something special about you, and you can create enough followers where they buy into stories. So Twitter is a good example of creating from day one a story and keeping very consistent with Twitter. I think where people make a mistake is they become inconsistent. They don't understand how Twitter works, and it just bores people to death. I don't care that you ate a hot dog at Joe's, you put mustard on it, now you're putting relish on it, now you're done with your hot dog, and you're going down the street to buy a coffee. I don't care.
And then that's what a lot of people were doing with Facebook. Okay, Coach, stay with us because we're talking some interesting things here with social media. Okay, I want to give a little shout out here to our friends at Russian River Adventures. Now, this is fun for all ages. And last year, my family and I went rafting on the Russian River and had a blast. No helmets were required, and it wasn't a long drive up to Healdsburg, I believe it is. And you can do either a half day or a full day in an inflatable, very comfortable raft. Check them out at RussianRiverAdventures.com. It's very reasonably priced, too. So we're going to cut to our second commercial break here. And again, the theme is Sally Field. Sally Field got her first start on TV as a boy-crazy surfer girl on what TV show in the mid-1960s? The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. I remember that show, too. She was so cute. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. Sally Field got her first start in TV as a boy crazy surfer girl on what TV show in the mid-1960s? Make sure to include your name, your email, spell out your email slowly, one letter at a time. Don't touch that dial. The Best of Investing will be right back. All right.
Great.
Good segment.
Am I answering your questions properly?
Oh,
Yes.
you're doing great,
That's
Coach.
perfect.
All we care about is doing good radio. I don't even care if the stuff is true. and people, you know, Coach, people ask me if I tweet. I said no, but I fart a lot.
Gidget is the answer to your question.
Very good.
Yep, that was my guess too, but I wasn't 100% sure of that one. Gidget.
Never
But
noticed everything
everything I'm saying about social media is pretty damn accurate. And
Yeah.
so many businesses, unfortunately, are going to be left behind because the next generation's coming up. This is the only way they're going to do business. Edward, you and I talked about it. Young guys don't even have business cards anymore.
Yeah.
Business cards are passe.
Well, it's funny, Mark. I like the idea about the story. I think like when
The
someone
story is great. Yeah.
clicks on Pacific Private Money, boom, up comes your video with you. Says, I want to tell you a story. You know, and basically explains why you're in business the way you are.
Yeah, no, that's well, and I'm reading a book right now. Start with the why.
I'll help you guys create the story, but you guys should do a Google Hangout with your radio show.
See, I've heard of that, but I don't know what it is.
I've got Google Hangouts on my Android because I just recently switched, Coach, from an iPhone for 4 or 5 years to now I've got an Android Nexus 5, and I'm just playing with Google Hangouts, but I don't really know anybody else that's using it right now.
Oh my God! Go tonight if you have some time. You're going to be shocked at how big Google Hangouts is and what you're going to see on there. How do I want to say this? The higher educated you are, more technology interest you are going to find everything on Google Hangouts, and that's where you can do a half an hour workshop. You guys can, each of you, do workshops on Google Hangouts and do all kinds of bring people from your radio show audience to Google Hangouts.
That's
okay.
actually really, I had no idea. That's actually really interesting. I will check that out.
Okay, so Coach, stay with us. We'll let you answer the question. Stay with us. We're going to go right into an email question for Mark, and we'll talk a little bit about real estate. I know you'll have some good questions for Mark, too.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Well, welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with my co-host, the famous Mark Hoff of Pacific Private Money. When we cut to the second commercial break, we asked this trivia question. Again, the theme is Sally Field. Sally Field got her first start on TV as a boy crazy surfer girl on what TV show in the mid-1960s? Coach, what's the answer? Gidget, Widget. Now, Gidget, that is correct. Very good. We'll get back to the social media stuff in a little bit, but I want to get an email to Mark here that a listener popped in with and said, what options do I have if I want to invest with you, but I don't want it to be in a fund? Good question.
Well, I get that question, pretty much every week. And so for new listeners, my company is Pacific Private Money, and we're based in the Bay Area. Our business model is we make loans to real estate investors who can't get loans from banks to buy, fix, and flip real estate, or for any investment real estate purpose. And the source of our money, we're like a bank, but we don't lend out the government's money or bank's money. We're lending out private individual money. So like a bank, we use private individual capital to make our loans, but we don't actually have deposits. Instead, we have a product that we call the Pacific Private Money Fund, which is an opportunity for you to invest your money for any period of time with a minimum of 2 years, and earn 8% or more on an annualized basis, much like you would in a money market account. And one of the best ways to compare it to is it's like a mutual fund of mortgage secured notes. And so again, the only business we do is we make loans secured by real estate to real estate investors, generally 70% loan to value or less. And so, in fact, we've had Gil Gross been a promotion running now for about 6 weeks, and we've had about $1 million in new investor capital just in the last 4 weeks come into the fund. So we're pretty thrilled with the way the campaign.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, can you imagine? How many investments do you know right now that are secured at less than 70% loan to value that are paying over 8%?
Well, I don't know that much about it, but I will say this as a capitalist, that what Mark is doing is so valuable in our culture that this is how America was built. And this is interesting enough, how other cultures survive. You look at who's starting businesses in the United States, and it's immigrants. And immigrants create these kinds of investment funds. What you're doing, Mark, is a little bit more intelligent in terms of safety because it's backed by real estate here in the United States. But
in California,
what you're doing is extremely valuable to the entrepreneurial community. I support you 100%. And you can use YouTube to tell your story. You could go on YouTube and have testimonials of happy investors, testimonials of people that have done well with you. Show the properties that they have invested in. It's a perfect vehicle for you to create the kind of intelligent behavior and trust that an investor needs to have.
Okay, hey Coach.
That's actually a great idea.
Yeah, he's definitely going to do that. We want to because the audience, we tease them with this question from the listeners, and we want to make sure
I
he
answered
answers
it
the question.
specifically the way.
Okay,
I
so
had a reason because the question was,
Yeah.
what else do you offer other than your fund? And so, really my answer is that you should strongly consider the mortgage pool fund product that we're offering right now because it's designed to thrive in this current private lending environment where, just as Coach said, we're providing funding for entrepreneurs who are out there who have really been instrumental in the recovery of the real estate market. It wasn't the government that caused the recovery in real estate. It was those entrepreneurs who were going out and buying up all the foreclosure property and other distressed property, remodeling it, putting it back on the market for home buyers to make turnkey opportunities to buy homes that are like new. And so our capital is we've done over 600 loans in the last 5 years to real estate investors, mostly here in the Bay Area. But to get back to the question of, what if I'm not interested in the fund? What else do you have? And long listeners to the show will know that we originally were doing individual note investments, also called trust deed investing. But I got to be honest with you, and if you're not a experienced trust deed investor today, you're going to find it difficult to find quality individual note investments in our current market today in 2014. Why? Well, because trust deed investing has grown in popularity, particularly in the Bay Area, and there are millions, if not billions of dollars of liquid capital looking for higher yields. And the people that I know who are successfully investing in individual notes, these are guys that have lots and lots of capital to play with. They're sitting on several $1 million of cash. They've been doing private lending for 10, 15, 20 years, and they can make up their mind up very, very quickly. And in fact, the only individual notes that we're doing now at Pacific Private Money are all going to a small handful of very wealthy, very sophisticated private lenders who I can count on to make a decision literally in 5 minutes. If you're new to trust deed investing, that's just not fair for me to ask of you, and I won't. I'm not going to ask a new person to make a decision to invest $100,000, $300,000, $500,000, and make up their mind in 5 minutes because the next phone call I get might be a funding commitment from somebody else. That's really the nature of the game right now. And so the reason why we created the fund a year ago was to allow the average person who doesn't have the time or inclination or experience to invest in an individual note and to participate in the very, very fast universe of trust deed investing. If that's not you, you're going to be hard pressed to get a quality note. And when I say quality note, what I mean is the notes that you will find available are going to be the ones that the sophisticated guys are passing up on, and they're probably not the ones that you want to invest in.
Yeah, good point. So how do people get a hold of you?
So our website, we've got 2 websites. So I'm going to give you the website for our investment options, which is PacificPrivateInvestments.com. So that's investments, plural, of course, all one word. Type PacificPrivateInvestments.com. That will take you to our investor website. If you happen to be listening and you're a real estate investor or rehabber or contractor and you want to learn how you can get fast access to private capital, you can go to our website for real estate investors, and that is at PacificPrivateMoney.com. So if you have money you want to learn more about how to earn a higher yield, go to PacificPrivateInvestments.com. And if you want to learn how to borrow money privately, you would go to PacificPrivateMoney.com.
Well, it's interesting because you do have that ebb and flow. Sometimes there'll be just lots and lots of money trying to chase whatever deals, and sometimes you just have too many deals, and now you gotta go find the money.
Right now, there is more money chasing fewer deals. And if you think about how tight the real estate market has gotten in the Bay Area, it would make sense. There's actually many of my rehabber clients are having trouble finding opportunities to buy property at the right price and not get outbid by someone who's willing to pay a higher price for a property.
Yeah, because the kind of deals that you're doing from the risk-reward standpoint probably should be paying about a 5% return.
Exactly.
But the thing is, you're able to pay 8% because you're able to charge the borrower more than that.
There's never been a higher differential between savings rates and private money yields on real estate secured notes than there is today, and it's not going to last because it's historically been about 5 percentage points. Right now, it's closer to 7. So or more. I mean, when you get in a money market account, less than 1%, and we're paying 8.5% right now in our fund. So almost an 8% differential.
Which is interesting because I did find a bank that is paying 1% on a money market account.
Oh, they're crazy.
They are crazy, yeah. But I mean, it's really, it's interesting. And audience, if you're interested in finding out who that is, I'm not going to say it on the air. You can email Edward at bestofinvesting.com and say, just put in the title, which bank is paying 1% on a money market account, and it's not.
They're looking for new deposits.
They're looking for new deposits, and it's FDIC insured, and it's liquid. So that's actually a pretty good thing. Okay, we're going to cut to our third and final commercial break here. Again, the theme is Sally Field. Before we do it, I just want to make one more quick little shout out here. There's a river rafting company. Have you ever done river rafting?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Russian River.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. No, well, but there's other places,
more
like
exciting.
Colorado River.
No, I'm too scared to
Tuolumne and stuff like that. I mean, I've done the middle fork where you need a helmet. Down
I'm a class 1 guy.
Class 1, yeah. See, okay, I know what that is. No, this is like, I've done like class 5, and it gets a little scary. But anyway, so there's this company called Oars, OARS, and they're like one of the largest out there. They were actually picked by National Geographic Adventure as the best river and sea outfitter on the earth. That's a big place. And Oars offers more than 75 professionally guided rafting, sea kayaking, and hiking experiences throughout Western North America. And I tell you got to check them out at oars.com. That's OARS.com. It is extremely fun. I've done it before. They've been around since 1969. Okay, here is our third and final commercial break. Again, the theme is Sally Field. What was the name of the movie where Sally Field, the soon-to-be ex-wife, opposite of Robin Williams, where Robin keeps changing from a man to a woman during the movie? Keeps changing costumes and pretends to be a man, pretends to be a woman. The first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Hey, Coach, you know the answer to this one?
I've seen the movie like 2 or 3 times. I'm struggling.
There you go. Struggling with that. That's okay. Okay. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. What was the name of the movie where Sally Field, the soon-to-be ex-wife opposite of Robin Williams, where Robin keeps changing from a man to a woman during the movie? Don't touch that dial. The Best of Investing will be finishing up with some closing thoughts and a little bit more from Coach Ron Tunick. Okay.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the deal I'll make with both of you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'll build you books in my costs are $500 if you put me on at least once a month.
Say that again. You did cut out a little bit there, Coach.
I said I'll build you each one of the mobile app for $500 if you put me on once a month.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on here. Well, I'm trying to do two things at once here. Hold on a second.
Download my own app, see if you like it.
Okay, I gotta save this file here. Hold on here. If I don't save this file, we're gonna have to do it all over again. So let me save this here. 22. Okay. Did the guy? Did he set up the mobile app for you? Did James do that for you? When we set up your website?
I'm
Because
trying
he did it
blank.
for Best of Investing. He set up a mobile app for.
Do you have a website, Mark?
I do. I do. So if you go to the PacificMoneyFund.com website, that has a mobile app version. So it's one of those that detects whether if you're going on with your phone, it will do the phone version.
If I was coaching you up, what's your last name?
Hanf, Hanf, like Frank.
Okay, so I would brand Mark Hunt. You have a good, easy name to remember. So your app would be Mark Hunt.
Hanf. Hanf. Hanf.
What's wrong with Mark Hunt?
Nothing, but it's not my name.
But it does name. Harry, Apple, Nancy, Frank.
I know, I'm just teasing.
Oh, okay.
But I would come up with either one word or two words on the mobile app world, and once you have that name, nobody else can take it. But I would use the mobile app to push people to the app, because people are in their car. They're not sitting in front of a computer. Have an app, push people to your app, and then on your app, you could have videos of your properties, videos of testimonials, like you can video Edward or video me or video friends and have them talk about the success they've had. I mean, there's so much you can do with your business. You can have very short articles, like on my app. I've written a number of articles, and they're on my app.
Okay. Well, do it. Hey, Coach, we've only got 7 minutes to go here, so and I gotta save the last 2 minutes for stuff. So we've only got about 4.5 minutes. Mark, what do you want to cover in the last 4.5 minutes?
No, if we want to keep going with
Coach Johnson.
Yeah, with if there's any particular. What did we just talk about off the air on the last break? That was kind of interesting. That was drawing a blank now as to what we actually talked on the show about it. Yeah, because I didn't bring any articles in, and for 4 minutes we don't really need any articles.
Well, texting. We can finish the show talking about texting.
Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hunt, president of Pacific Private Money, the fastest growing private mortgage investment firm in Northern California. And when we get to the third and final commercial break, we asked this trivia question. What was the name of the movie where Sally Field, the soon-to-be ex-wife opposite Robin Williams, where Robin keeps changing from a man to a woman during the movie?
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire, that is correct. Yes. That's for our younger audience. So that. So, Coach, we only have a few minutes left. You wanted to talk a little bit about texting.
Well, here's what I would say. Email, there's going to be a memorial service at some point for email. Email's going to go the way of the dial telephone. So everybody in America is carrying some form of a smartphone that can accept a text. That's how we're going to market. That's how we're going to communicate. That's how we're going to solidify relationships. Capturing the cell phone number of your customer, thanking your customer, rewarding their customer. I mean, honestly, guys, how many times have you gone in to buy something and you wish somebody would have appreciated your purchase or would have said, hey, thanks for coming in, Mark. Thanks for coming in, Edward.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I would like that in person, but I get a little annoyed if my phone kept blowing up with a bunch of texts. Because I kind of think of my texts are kind of important, you know, be it getting one from Mark or my wife. And I do get kind of annoyed when like Fandango sends me this thing or you know, these other crazy things. I don't even know how they got my number.
Well, you're a dinosaur. If you got a text that said the next time you come in, you get a free dessert or 2 meals for the price of one, I guarantee you wouldn't talk that way.
That is absolutely true. You know me very well.
So we all are looking for a bargain. We're all looking for an advantage. And big companies today are so far ahead of the market. It took me a while to buy into texting as a marketing tool. And I went home one night. My wife buys everything online. I said to her, I said, Al, do you ever use coupons on your smartphone? And she said, she looked at me, she said, are you kidding me? She said, how do you think I know what all these bargains are? And I said, well, show me one. Well, she shows me a coupon from a clothing company, Sophia, that she buys stuff from. I said, holy moly, there it is, right there. The big companies are out front on this. So if you've got the ability to capture that cell phone number and use it wisely, don't spam, but use it wisely, use it intelligently with clever discounts, coupons, cute videos. I mean, there's everything in a text that you can do to thank your customer, incentivize your customer, create loyalty programs, and avoid, as you said, the annoying spam. So just use it wisely.
Good advice.
Very good.
You dinosaur.
I know. It's true. Listen, I still work with 2 tin cans and a string to communicate with people. Remember those days?
Yes, I do. All right.
Okay. Hey, Mark, tell you what. Just for fun, because we didn't tease the audience with this like we did last time, we have just a quick minute. Give us the deal of the week. Give us an exciting deal you've been working on.
Well, I don't know how exciting it is, but we've been doing a number of bridge loans lately, helping people close quickly on a home they intend to own or occupy. And so a lot of people think of private money as really for real estate investors, but we've been working with a number of agents and mortgage brokers who have clients that find themselves competing for a home that they want, and so if they make an overly aggressive offer, they discover that their bank can't close in time. Well, we've been doing a number of short-term so-called bridge loans where we can help someone close very, very quickly on an acquisition of a primary of a residence that they're going to move into, and close with a private money loan. Now, of course, it costs money. The fees are higher than a regular bank loan, but here's the thing: you get the property you want. And
exactly.
Oftentimes in this market, you hear stories about people putting in bid after bid after bid, and they're not getting the property. Well, if they know they're bank qualified, but they also know it's going to take 30 to 45 days to close with a bank, with bank financing contingency, how about close with a private money loan? And we, depending on how much collateral they have, we can go up to 100% of the acquisition price if they're still living in their other home, and we can use that as collateral too. So for more information, if that sounds like something that's intriguing, if you're either a real estate professional or in the mortgage business, or if you're out house hunting and trying to figure out how to get a leg up on the competition so you can close quickly, investigate using a private money loan to close. We've closed on a loan like this. I got a call on Monday telling me that they had a client that needed to close on Friday. We were able to provide a $600,000 loan in basically a little less than 5 business days to close.
That's amazing.
So give us a call at Pacific Private Money. That's 415-883-2150. We're in the Bay Area. Again, phone number 415-883-2150 for Pacific Private Money.
Very good. Okay, we're going to cut out here. Here's our thoughts for the day. Cows moo in different accents according to where they live. So in France, they must say le moo, le moo. And scientists have discovered that the Earth's rotation is slowing. And in the past 2 years, there are about 24 more seconds in a day. So does that mean in 25 years I won't be as old as I think I'll be? Think about that. We want to thank our guest, Coach Ron Tunick, America's business coach, teaching us about Twitter and Facebook and social media. Thank you, Coach, for being with us, all right?
Hey, always an honor, you guys. Thank you.
All right. Tune in next week to The Best of Investing. We're going to be giving away how many?
9.
9 more free vacations for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown. We're wishing you the best of investing. So long. And that's a wrap, guys. Thanks, Coach.
Good show, Edward. Good show, Mark.
All right.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
So
I will look up your app and we'll talk